the Zathog RDA by Morten Oen and Cthulhu mod. Let's have a look. Hey guys, Vick here, back with another review. Today we are finally looking at this, the Zathog RDA from Cthulhu mod and Morten Oen. Morten Oen is a fellow reviewer. If you haven't seen him around, check him out. Very interesting reviews, very interesting take on his whole vaping journey. And this is his second RDA. This is the Zathog with Cthulhu mod. It's 30mm wide. It's a big RDA. 30mm wide dual coil RDA. Goon tips on top. Comes with a squonk pin and a normal dripping pin as well. To be perfectly honest, I don't have a 30mm wide 30mm compatible squonker, so you know, not a squonker for me, but it does work very well in squonking mode. But we're going to be dripping with it on the RX Gen 2 dual, and yeah, 30mm wide dual coil, and a very interesting airflow configuration, as you would expect from Morten Oen. Let's dive down low, have a really good look at this, and then come back up top, and we'll talk about it. See you in a sec. Okay guys, here we are down low with the Zathog RDA from Morten Oen and Cthulhu mod. Nice little tin that it comes in. Pretty cool, I do like that. Picture of Morten Oen on the front there, pretty good, pretty good. Opening her up, you get in your tin a baggie. You get all your spares as well. It does come with a squonk pin. I don't have a 30mm compatible squonker, but you do get a squonk pin in there, and your 810 drip tip adjustment thing, O-rings and all that good stuff. In your baggie you get your RDA, pretty good. So you could reuse the tin for something else, I guess, which is nice. And this is your RDA, the Zathog RDA, and it says that underneath, Zathog RDA, and then in very small you've got your serial number, Morten Oen and Cthulhu mod there. And you can see I have the standard dripping pin in. So coming up to the top we have our goon tip. Let's just quickly check if other tips fit. Yep, other goon tips are a nice fit on here, so that's a positive there. There we go. So that's fine. Goon tips on top, and it comes with the adapter. Don't forget to take it into normal drip tips. You've got adjustable airflow here along the top. Now this air goes in and down onto the coil, and it's adjustable like that. I never have that one fully open, if I'm honest. I don't vape at crazy high wattage, so I do close that one down. You've then got this little slit of an airflow as well, which I'll show you a bit more in a second, but that one angles downward like the recoil used to do. So let's put this on a mod so I can pull it off. The only actual mod that I can fit a 30mm on is the RX Gen 2 dual. This takes 30mm RDAs. Actually, I think it looks quite good on there like that. It actually makes it not too big a setup, which is pretty good. But if I pull this off, there we go. There is our deck. So if we look in the barrel, you can see the two air holes here. So that is the top one there. The two that you can see in the middle literally go in and straight down like the support RTA used to do, if anyone remembers that. That's a little while ago now. And then these slots here, these tiny ones here, they're still adjustable. I'll show you that in a second, but they do angle downward. The reason they're adjustable is you can rotate them on the plate that they're in here. You can rotate them like that to close them down. So it's all fully adjustable in terms of airflow. But there's the barrel. There's no real there's no real reduction in there. There's no real doming on this cap. It is very much a big 30mm cap. And this is the deck. So what we've got is the slanted airflows going pretty much directly into the coil like that. They go down and sort of spin around here. Then you've got your other airflow which comes directly from the top there, like the Sapor used to do, and other ones like that. And so that is your dual airflow. They're in these big sort of ramps, like skate ramps type thing. Yeah, so they're certainly doing something. You've also got huge juice well here as well, so you can just put your cotton straight over. Now, I've done several builds in here, and I know Morten thinks really your coil should be a bit higher, a bit here, but I've just personally had better results myself with the coil quite low. I think it's because I vape at a lower wattage to Morten, but I don't know for sure. This is just the way it has worked for me. This is a big RDA. It's a postless RDA. You just tighten these two screws up here to tighten your coil down. It's a postless setup, and you can get very nice big coils in here. As you can see, these are fire ant coils that I've talked about on the vlogs. Looking very nice and working very well in here. This little screw here in the middle, that is if you want to completely detach this RDA for cleaning. That is what that is for. So let's stick a wick in here. Okay, so as you can see, this thing holds a lot of cotton and therefore a lot of juice. Also, the nature of the design of this, the air holes are both quite high up, so it's pretty leak-proof RDA as well. You really can get a lot of juice in here. If you do have a squonker that will work with this, like a Lost Vape drone or something like that, this thing squonks very well again, because there's not really much chance of leakage. The air holes are really high up. So it does squonk very well, and you can put a lot of juice in this RDA, as you can see. Okay, so back on a mod and back together. We just drop this down in line with the airflow. Spins all the way around. It doesn't have a latch catch system, and this is how I've been rocking it. Wide open here, fully open with this one here, and this one maybe just half open here. That one adjusts like this. And if you want to adjust this one, you just spin the barrel. That closes that. You can see that's now a little bit closed, but very easy to adjust. And there it is. That is the Zathog RDA. Let's go up top for pros and cons of this. See you in a sec. Okay guys, that was the Zathog down low. Really interesting RDA. It's actually my first 30mm wide RDA. I don't know why, I just haven't really seen or been interested in the other ones. This is my first one, and I've got to say, it's an absolutely massive thing. Probably doesn't look that big on here, but if I compare it to, you know, a traditional 22mm RDA, check that out. The difference is staggering. So yeah, it's a really big RDA. Obviously that means you've got to know what you're putting it on. You need to have a mod in mind to put this RDA on if you want it. So you need a 30mm compatible mod for this RDA, you know, one that can fit it on flush without a crazy overhang that looks really bad. I'm using mine on the RX Gen 2 Dual. If you're wanting to use it as a squonker, the only squonker that comes to my mind, maybe Boxer have got one, but the only one that comes to my mind is the Lost Vape drone squonker. That one will accommodate this RDA on top, but beyond that I'm not actually sure. In terms of 30mm mods, there's quite a few. Yeehee do a few that fit on. There's several mods that you can squeeze this on, but do remember that, do bear that in mind. You're gonna need a big mod to put this RDA on top, so do bear that in mind. That may be an issue for you. 30mm wide RDA, goon fits fit on top, no issue. It's available in stainless steel and black. It's widely available and it's around $30, £25, $30 in the States. Very affordable and in my opinion very, very well made, very well put together indeed. Machining seems excellent to me. Okay, so I have a couple of negatives for this. One's a proper negative and one is totally kind of depends on your vape style and the way you vape and what you're expecting from a device like this. The first one is there's no latch or catch system on here. It does mean unscrewing the RDA from the mod is a bit tricky. It can just spin and spin on here. Yeah, getting the RDA off sometimes can be a bit tricky because it just spins and spins. There's no locking ring or catch thing with that. So that's the thing. That's a proper one. The next one is the actual way it vapes. Now, I guess this is very tricky to describe because it completely depends on your personal vape preferences. But even at 92 watts, this RDA, I've got it at 92 watts right now, and even vaping it right now with the top bit half closed and the middle bit fully open, it's still quite a cool vape. You know, this thing can do 100, 120, 150 watt vape and it still doesn't get particularly hot. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I'm sure that some people like the 30mm RDAs, they like their crazy coils and they like their 100 watts, 120 watts because they like the heat and the warmth from the vape. You know, I'm sure they think that is part of the flavour. People that like series mods, they get that 8 volts getting in there, you know, and surely that's partly because they like the warmth and the intensity of the vape. It's just not a very intense vape at all. This is at 92 watts. Plenty of cloud production. It's a nice smooth vape, but it's not intense, it's not warm. That to me would be like a 50-60 watt vape on a normal 24mm RDA. You have to really crank it up. If I go over 100, 120 watts, 120 watts, I'll put a bit more juice on and I'll have another vape at 120 watts, but even then it won't be the 120 watts that you might expect it to be, maybe in a sub tank or something like that. It won't be as hot as that. It's just the way the airflow has been designed, the way it's so swooshy and spirals around the RDA. Loads of clouds, but 120 watts, still not a particularly intense vape. Now, and that is with the airflow not fully open. If you open the airflow fully, it's an even cooler vape. So it's not a negative. It's not particularly a negative, but just be aware that vaping this at 120 watts is nothing like most RDAs at 120 watts. Now, to some people that might be a good thing. They might have always wanted that 100 watt flavour, that 100 watt power of cloud without the crazy intense flavour and crazy intense heat. But I've got to warn you that it's quite a cool vape. It's quite a cool vape, not too overpowering at all, even at very high wattage, which I guess is a good thing. But in the same token, why not just have, if for this style of vape you could achieve it with a 24mm RDA at 60 watts. So that's kind of a little thing out there. Beyond that though, I think it's a really nice design. I think they've done some really good stuff with this RDA. I think the postless deck works perfectly. You can fit huge coils in this. This would be a fantastic RDA on a series mod because you can put really big juicy coils in here. I personally think it's very forgiving as to where you put the coil in terms of height as well. A lot of postless decks are very insistent on the exact coil height that you need. I've used this with a high coil and a low coil and it both worked very well. So I think the deck is very good. I think the actual big like skateboard half pipes, they work really well on here as well. The actual deck design I think is really good. I like the adjustability of the airflow. You can completely close the middle and completely open the top, So I have a blast like that. So this is with the top fully open and the middle one closed. Let's have a look. That creates a really strange vape, but it's there as an option. There is a lot of options with how you want to vape this RDA, which is cool. The airflow is cool. It's very swooshy, it's very smooth. I really like the airflow ring on the top airflow. Very easy to adjust, very smooth, very well put together. So you can put great coils in here. It's a really nice deck. They've done a really good job of the postless deck on here. The airflow options are good. There's a lot of airflow options. I wish that the middle one, the halfway up one, the lowest one, wasn't such a small sharp slot. I think that's where the noise is coming from. It's got quite a high pitched whooshy noise, and I think that's coming from the little air hole. But the actual airflow choices of options are fantastic. I'm really pleased with that. I like the way it vapes. I'm enjoying this at 92 watts. It's not super intense, but it's a very, very nice vape, and it's got huge juice wells, so you can put loads of juice in there. This is by no means a negative review. It's just a very unique style of vape. A big 30mm RDA with big chunky crazy coils in at 92 watts, and it's not very intense, but it's not bad. It's not a bad vape at all. It's just not an intense vape like you'd expect at that wattage. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. I don't know about all the science on the airflow direction, about where it all comes in and all that. Go check out Morten Oen's presentation video on this RDA if you're interested in that. He draws a diagram on there, and he shows you what he feels the air is doing in the RDA and why he's done it the way he's done it. That's very interesting. I couldn't possibly comment on that. I have no idea what direction the air is going inside here, but it's definitely moves in a direction that keeps these coils very cool. That's for sure, because it is, like I say, not a super intense vape, but a very nice one. It's a very nice vape, don't get me wrong. So I like this. I'm enjoying using it. It looks really nice on the RX Gen 2 Dual. And I'm enjoying the vape, but it is very unique. I have nothing else that vapes like this. So I'm enjoying it, but yeah, it's very different. Very, very different from what I was expecting. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you've got one of these. They've been out a while, so there's a good chance that one of you have got these. Let me know how you're getting on with yours in the comments. Let me know what you think of this video. Like and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.